Hey everyone, it's your boy Dice Everunkus. Today I'll be reviewing an obscure manga by a super popular writer. It's called Soshiki Zerozaki's Humanity Test by Niso Eisen. You may know him for Monogatari, or it may be even Katanagatari, but I feel that people mainly only know him for Monogatari, like that's all they ever talk about. I feel that people have an extreme aversion to reading his other works, despite the fact Niso Eisen has written a lot of other things besides Monogatari, but they rarely ever get talking about. Like Minaka Box is really obscure, and Juni Titan, it was popular when it was airing, but as soon as the last episode came out, no one talked about it. Like no one even thinks about it, and I don't even know if this sequel is going to get licensed. And then you have the Zorogato series, which had an OVA a few years ago. And the novels are licensed in America, but they only get like one volume per year, which is really BS. But let me not go into that tangent. That's a topic for another day. The basic premise of this manga is that you have this girl protagonist called Ayori Muto. She's really average. She doesn't know what she wants to do in her life, so she's directionless. She just runs away from a problem. She doesn't know how to handle anything, so she just keeps running. And that's a trait I definitely saw in myself. I related to her. It was kind of depressing too, because I'm still trying to work on that problem myself. So she just keeps running, but her everyday life is shattered when her friend Jian is turned into a brainwashed zombie. Well, it's not exactly a zombie, but he's brainwashed. It's hard to explain. So she gets attacked by Jian, but then her homicidal instincts kick in and she kills Jian with a pair of scissors. Now she's like freaking out, but then she gets found out by this man called Soshiki Zerozaki, the other protagonist of the series. And he pretty much states that, you know what, you're a Zerozaki now, you're a part of my family, you're my sister. Now, the Zerozaki is a clan of killers who kill for no reason. They don't really have a reason for killing people. They just do it because it's a way of life in the words of Soshiki. So they just kill, and Iori is justifiably freaked out by this, like, no, I don't want to be a killer. This is crazy. I'm going home. She goes home, but it turns out that her family is also brainwashed zombies. So she gets attacked again, but Soshiki arrives to kill them to save her. And then it turns out that this entire story is pretty much a story of warring families. You have the Zerozaki family, who, like I said earlier, just kills for no reason, and the Sawarabi family, who are assassins who only kill when they're ordered to. Now, the reason why Aori is like being attacked in all this is because she's technically part of the Zerozaki family. And the Sawarabi family wants to get revenge on the Zerozaki because one of their own were killed by someone called Zerozaki Harushiki. I'll get into him in a moment. So, Aori is just thrown into this warring battle between two families. And as the story progresses, her homicidal tendencies get stronger. And she comes to accept the fact that she's a Zerozaki, she's no longer an average girl, and she's a homicidal maniac. Now, I feel like the basic premise of this feels like a creepypasta, and I say that in a bit ironic way because I really don't like creepypastas. I just find them to be very tedious to read and kind of stupid. But this does feel like something you would read in a Jeff the Killer fanfiction. Like, I just imagine it now. You have this average girl of a protagonist, and she's just living a boring life, and one day Jeff the Killer comes to adopt her and makes her part of the creepypasta family. I read a novel where something like that happens. I'm going to talk about that book. That might be my next video. I need to talk about that creepypasta fanfiction I read on Kindle because it was a hot mess. But back to this manga. Now, this is the type of manga where the characters are definitely more interesting than the actual story. The characters are what drive the story, to be honest. And I feel that people often say that as long as the story has good characters and the story doesn't matter. I find it to be false. I think there should definitely be a balance between characters and good story. But honestly, the characters were definitely the main appeal of it. I really like these people. I found them really relatable. If not relatable, I found them interesting to read about. I like Aori because she kind of feels like a female version of me. She's running away from her problems. She's directionless. She's kind of timid. She doesn't know what she wants to do in life. And basically, she was saved by someone who drew her into this dangerous world, and I'm waiting for someone to save me, even though I know I need to save myself. That sounded really dramatic, but it's personal, all right? I liked her. I found her relatable, and it was cool seeing her become a killer. Like, she doesn't technically kill anyone, to be honest, besides from her possessed friend, but she becomes more and more homicidal. I found myself rooting for her. I really liked her as a person, and I'm kind of like her in real life, to be honest. And then you have Zerozaki Harushiki. Now he's a middle schooler who just kills people unconsciously. What I mean like that, he would kill you by accident. Like, he doesn't know that he's killing you until it's too late. Like, there's this one character who tried attacking him from behind, and in the next frame he was all chopped up, and he was like, "Oh, I guess I killed you." I found it to be funny. He's just so, he's not really psychotic. He's like, he has his emotions under control. He's just a really fun character to read. He's crazy. He kills people by using these ultra sharp wires that can cut you because that's how sharp they are. I like his character design, the albino hair, his cargo pants, his jacket, everything. I really love his character design and personality. And then you have Soshiki Hadoshiki. No, Soshiki Zerozaki. You know, he's really eccentric. He judges people based off their personality and quirks and stuff. That's what's called Soshiki Zerozaki's humanity test. He judges everyone. He wants to see if you're worthy of being a decent human being or not. That's pretty much his whole gist. And yeah, I really like the characters. They were really fun to read. And I think the story was really exciting. There was a lot of action. It was a thrill. It was almost a thriller. Like, I don't think it was meant to be suspenseful, but it was. It really was. It really did feel like that. I liked it a lot. It was good. I recommend you read it. It's only about like 20 something chapters long, about 24 chapters, something like that. It feels really short because it only adopts one novel. There is a sequel of this manga, but it's only in Japan. It's never been translated. So, and that's really annoying. Like, I really want to know more about this story, but the manga is only in Japanese, and the novels is based on only Japanese. And even though this is might I add, this is a spin-off of the Zorigato series, which is licensed in English, but like I said, Zorigato novels only come out once a year, so I really don't even know if this will ever get translated and licensed in America, because Vertical has been extremely lazy with their Zorigato releases, and that's honestly disrespectful and lazy. I feel like they should give their love for Monogatari to Zorigato too, because I really want to read more of these stories to learn more about the characters. I don't know why Vertical is being so lazy with their releases, but it definitely needs to stop. Overall, I say this is a really good, solid manga. Read it mainly for the action and the quirky characters, because the story itself, it was good, but it didn't live up to par with the characters. Like, the characters were everything about this thing. It was really everything. The only thing I didn't really like about it was this character called Kojiki. I like the character himself, but I didn't like how he's treated. Now, it was fun. Like, his character had a lot of potential to grow, because basically he was this character who was adopted because he was an orphan or something, and you know, he pretty much had to become a kidnapper as a profession to fit into his family, and his dream of his life in the fall is to find a real family that can love him. Now, I really like his character. I like his potential to grow. I like his interactions with Hagori, but I won't spoil him. I won't spoil what happens to him, but really nothing a lot happens to him, to be honest. I feel like there could have been so much more done to this character. He was really good, and you know, I really felt like, you know, he could have done more of him. And I should add that he's a manga original character. He's not in the actual light novel. And about the light novel itself, there's only a few chapters online that are translated. I don't know if it's been completed or not. I haven't read it in quite a while. But there are definitely a lot of differences between the novel and the manga, and that's completely intentional because Niso Eisen himself has worked on the manga script and added a few changes to it. I like that. I like it. Like, I don't need a strict adaptation when it comes to comics and novels. I like for there to be a few differences so people can be kept on their toes onto what will happen. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Zerozaki's Humanity Test. It was a really solid read. It has really nice crisp artwork. The characters are great. There's a good story, even though it doesn't live up to par with the actual characters. I think you could definitely find a character you can relate to because they're really cool. They're amazing. And I like the premise. It reminds me of creepypasta, even though I don't like creepypastas, but it was really well done. I just like everything about it. And yeah, that was my review on Zerozaki Soshiki's Humanity Test. You can find it on most manga sites. I might leave a link in the description where you can read it. And I might leave a link to my Anime Amino review of this series, because I did write a review on Anime Amino about this, but it's like really short. And like I said, I think my next video might be about the Jeff the Killer. Well, actually, I don't think I can review the Jeff the Killer novel I've read on Kindle, because I didn't actually read it. I read like an audio version on it on YouTube. There's like 2 YouTubers reviewed the hell out of it. It was funny. I'm going to leave a link to those reviews because those were hilarious to read. And anyway, that's all I have to say about Zerozaki. I don't know what my next review will be about. I would personally give this like an 8 out of 10 or maybe a 7.5 out of 10. I'm really glad I read this when I did read it, because I read this during a bad time in my life. I was going through a lot of stuff, and I'm glad I read this because it helped me get through life. It just helped me feel better about myself. Well, it was a coping manga, to be honest. It helped me cope with what I was going through. So I resonate with this manga on a personal level. It was really good. And yeah, please check it out. This has been Dice Everunkus, and see you next time.